when people think of self-care, they think of it in very basic terms. You know, it's making sure you have a nice hot bubble bath. It's making sure that, you know, you have 5 minutes with your friends. Actually, self-care and self-love is massive. The implications from putting those things into place, they create your reality. What you're ultimately doing when you take charge of your self-love and your self-care and you put yourself first, you're filling that cup and you're standing in your power. And when you're in that place, you are directly in connection with your inner being, with your inner guidance, with that higher self. That's when you get guided to live your fullest life. That's when people will cross your path at the right time. The job opportunities will come in. The money will start flowing in. The health conditions will start getting better. You will rewrite your whole reality if you take your self-love and self-care into your hands and implement it properly. So it's way bigger than that fluffy kind of topic that people take it for. You know, it's important. It's about undoing the past. It's about clearing a belief system that doesn't serve you. It's about understanding what limitations you've placed on your life, why you don't always quite make the grade with people, why you attract certain people into your life. All of this stuff comes from a belief system, and that all comes down to self-love and self-care and making sure that you get to a place where you can start transcending all of this stuff. You know, your vibration, you live at a higher vibrational rate. You're up here, which means you attract things up here. Low energy, low vibration, you've got anxiety-based fears come in. The circumstances, people will bring things to you that are not helpful to you. So self-love is about really tapping into that empowerment. It's about, you know, accessing that goddess power, whatever you want to call it, you know, and it's not just closed off to women. Of course, you know, everybody has a right to tune into that empowerment and to really step into that self-love and self-care. It's massively important. And when you do that, the ripple effects that you pass on to your kids, to your grandkids, to the people around you, to enable them to do the same thing, you start to build a reality where you're full of people who've stepped into their power. And that, you know, all possibilities, all potential outcomes are available.
I love that. I love that. So I think that's how Tammy and I met, because Tammy is the freedom coach from this group that we're together, that we've joined together, and she's one of the coaches. And I want to delve into the beliefs, because we're big on that. I think what we're hearing at the moment is so different. It's so counterintuitive from what we've been taught, what we have been you know, learn in school, and that we were not taught how to, you know, how to put ourselves first before others. We were taught to, you know, give as much as you can, and because that's what, you know, God wants you. But actually God wants you to be empowered. God wants you to be happy. So I want to sort of, I know beliefs are a big thing, and that's what you're massive on. Can you just walk us through on how, like, how do you do it, like how we can start changing our beliefs and step in fully completely to our goddess power? So when we say goddess power, this is just our empowered self,
Yeah.
isn't it?
And this is like my favorite topic at the moment. This is the thing that I am most passionate about, because when you realize this stuff, you realize what's possible, and you can see everything that's ever happened to you in your life, how these things have happened. So the easiest way for me to explain it is to go right back to the beginning, because when we come into this world, we are high vibrational beings, where our energy is up here. We have full potential. We have full possibilities. We are love energy. We are source energy. We are just divine inspiration. There's everything we ever need is already within us. In our very, very early days, we start to take on other people's belief systems. We start to be influenced by society, by education, by religion, by all of this stuff that comes at us. We start to bed down very dominant sets of beliefs that start to form this new vibration that we put out into the world. So things can be really, I usually say this to people because it's the simplest thing. Your mum could have had the most mental day. She could have been rushed off her feet all day long, the day from hell. And then she's trying to cook dinner and she's got you pulling at her skirt, mum, 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 constant. And in that moment, she turns around and she snaps at you and she says, no, leave me alone. I haven't got time for you. Now, as adults, we can understand that. As a child, that impact that hits them is, she doesn't love me, or I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy. And we all typically have the same kind of beliefs, these same limiting beliefs. And what we do is we bed that down. And that forms a new vibration. And we are energetic beings. We are constantly putting our vibration out into the universe. The law of attraction dictates what we put out, we attract back. So when we have this little vibration that's bubbling away of not feeling good enough, we start to attract things that connect with that and reaffirm, oh, I'm not good enough. And then something else will come our way. And again, we won't feel good enough. We might get to school and a teacher will belittle us and we'll get that feeling of not good enough. So over the course of a life, from one little belief, we've got layer upon layer upon layer where it's been reaffirmed, reaffirmed, reaffirmed until you have a very underlying belief of not being good enough. Now, you might not be aware of that because you've had it your whole life. But when you start to work with your belief system and you start to look back over physical health conditions or life events or people that have crossed your path, you're going to start to see patterns where this belief has played out. And that's one of your biggest aha moments, because then you appreciate, oh my God, that's all come from me. And it doesn't matter who's involved, what the trauma has been, all of that stuff is irrelevant. The only thing that counts is that that started from a vibration that you've inadvertently been putting out into the world. And when you acknowledge that and you realize that, you then have the tools to start to clear it and remove it. And once you remove that belief and you reaffirm it with a new belief, I am good enough, I am loved, whatever it is, then suddenly you change your whole reality. You can change the relationships that you have, the jobs that come your way. Everything changes the second you decide to change the inner workings of your belief system. And it's so powerful. And you can physically see it. Sorry, when you work with somebody and you help them clear a belief, you can physically see the difference and the lightness that it brings when this stuff leaves them. And that is why I love doing this work, because it's life-changing.
Amazing. And that's how you begin to step into your goddess power, isn't it?
Yes,
when you start, I know it's because you said it's layer by layer. I think I'm gonna go back to what you mentioned a while ago, that we just start from a belief that everything that we have at the moment we attract in our reality. And that's because, just want to clear that part, that's because this is your inner belief. So if you believe that you lack money, then definitely all the time you don't have enough money. Then if you believe that the money will come anyway all the time in whatever places, you're lucky, that's where you believe, then it's going to come to you. And that's what the law of attraction is saying, and that's what you're big in. And I really love what you said about beliefs, because it just starts layer by layer, and it starts when you're that small. Subconsciously you're not aware what you're attracting, and you just build that over and over and over until you become this adult. And you start going into the world and realizing why is my life like this. You start looking inside, and I feel like the first step, I guess, to really step into your power is to look inside your belief system. That's what you're saying too. But
Yeah.
the question, I guess, Tammy, is that how do we, how do we begin to do, how do we even realize doing that? How do we even begin to sort of realize that, oh, it's my beliefs, it's my thing that's causing this? Oh, how do we begin to
I think
just know?
because everything about us revolves around our emotions.